My favorite thing about being blessed to meet August is the story about how he didn't graduate high school, and so you guys, you've heard this, right? You know that but he pretended to go to school. You know about that? That he pretended to his mom, and the notion of him getting up and making his lunch and going to the library, and then coming back. And to go to the library and look, and he was reading all these shelves and stuff, but he got to that section on theater, and he saw himself represented in poetry to an extent. So he knew that there were black poets, because the Renaissance was there. But the amount of plays that were in that Pittsburgh library that related to him, related to his life, was really lacking. And that's why I rejoice now every time I go. I'm going to the library for any reason, but I always go over to the theater section just to see how many August Wilson plays they got there. Because he wanted to change that, and he did. And that's why when we got together and then talking to form the August Wilson Reading Club, because you really must know those 10 plays. I mean to say, it would be a tragedy if you didn't really know, a travesty and a tragedy. It would be a tragic travesty if you don't know those 10 plays and what the possibilities are in your life. Because that's what I love about dramatic literature. It's not that everybody should become a theater person, a director, or actor, or playwright, or anything. But that through doing plays and knowing, because all the characters in plays are not theater people. Very few plays are about being in the theater. They're about people's lives and all the different professions that you have to play as an actor, which really opens you up to all the potential of ways for you to make a contribution to the society. Because making a contribution is really what it's about. And that's why I rejoice about knowing August, because of what an incredible contribution he made, not only to letters, to literature, to theater, but in a very real sense to all of the people that I know who left home, run away to join the circus to try to be an actor. Anybody that is an aspiring writer?
I am.
Oh yeah?
I love to write.
When'd you get started?
When did I get started? In the 3rd grade, my school had a writer's workshop, and I used to write all kinds of stories. Like sometimes I write about me and my friend, and then I used to like writing fables, which is like where you make the animals talk, and it usually teaches a lesson. So I used to like writing that. When I came here, I started getting into playwriting, and I realized that's what I really love most about theater.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Fabulous. But as much as everybody would laugh and say, oh, Mr. Thatcher ain't got no business saying all that, they were glad to be known, to be a part of a community. And that's the other thing that August's legacy is. And it's wonderful to see it because, you see, he's writing it about the Hill District, but it's about all these Hill Districts. And that's the thing to know from dramatic literature. That's the great thing to learn from dramatic literature, is that you're not alone. I know this play called How I Learned to Drive.
Yes.
And it's a wonderfully important play for, anybody sitting out there thinking, I'm the only one who had somebody expose themselves or did something, And my dear sister who's gone now, she used to just love to make that connection. She would always like to tell me, she would see a story and she would always say, that's like such and such. And she loved to make that's like this thing, And that you get to that universal through the specific. So the more specifically you write about this, the more somebody, and I did jitney in England, and I'll never forget this Japanese guy punching me said, yeah, that's my uncle. And I say, what? And then you'd see Polish people, all kinds of folk, because the more specifically you write about what you experience, the more someone from another culture can say, I know what I know what you're talking about. Because you're always, in a sense, writing about your connectedness to the event. You're always, if you really write about something, you're writing not just about what it means to you, you're writing about the whole connectedness of it. All the folks that were a part of it that caused you, and perspective is everything. Perspective is everything. Ole-o, 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 la la. Straight, so who's reading what part. So, Monet is reading Louise.
Divine is reading.
And
1, 3, 2, 1.
Now, you see, the only way that you can do this right is you people think, we can count from 1 to 3. You think so. But if you're in your head or if you word and everything, the only way you can do it is if you listen to the other person. Because you got to hear what they say in order to say the right thing for you. Okay? I'm going to try it one more time. And I got to look at each other and just give everybody, don't worry about who's watching you. Don't worry about what you look like. The only thing you got to do is make this person important. Zion, you make her important, and you make him important. You understand? And that's the only concentration you need to worry about. You ain't got to worry about nobody else. But you got to look at each other and listen to each other. So don't be looking over nowhere else. Just look at each other. Here we go. This is what I want you to do. The other thing about, in terms of acting, is you have to be caused. You don't want to be in your head trying to think about how you're going to say it. You just want to say it in response to someone else. You got to get your cue. And the cue is not just the last thing somebody said. It's the thing they said that makes you want to speak. And then you wait till they last thing so you say your line. But you're not just waiting to hear that last word. You're waiting to hear what it was they said that made you want to speak. They may speak for 2 more sentences, but you already heard what you waiting for. You just waiting for them to stop talking so you can say what you have to say, because you heard them say something that you got a point of view about that you want to give back. So to be caused, this is an exercise about being caused. Now,
this was my first year even finding out about August Wilson. So having this experience with Stephen Henderson, he's so inspirational, and I really enjoyed hearing him talk about August Wilson, and it's inspired me to look up more into August Wilson, so I'm really excited for this.